Hot people, hot people. Hmm. Let's talk about it. So there's this movie I saw that left me dumbfounded. It was quite funny because literally everyone is a victim of certain circumstances. So this family moved into a new house, and just like American haunted house stories, literally haunted house stories. And the house was kind of haunted. There's usually strange sounds. They get sent letters, by someone that claims to be watching their houses. Whenever every new person moves into the house, there's always like someone that sends them a letter. There was a time where what really left me dumbfounded, what really left me a bit angry, is that we did not find out who exactly was sending this letter. We did not find out who exactly was tormenting these people. There were a lot of suspense where we thought it was the surveillance guy that was installing the cameras. At the point, it was very, very close to like revealing that it was actually the neighbors, which I still suspect it was some of those neighbors, because for some reasons they just don't want anybody to live in that house. At the point, it was like, okay, there are people who wanted that house but couldn't get the house, so they just keep tormenting every single person that moves into the house. There was a teacher that told the students to write letters to houses that they wish they could live in, and just write letters to the owners of the houses. And it was one of those people that got suspected, and the family went and accused him. And he he actually revealed that he wished he could live in the house. Most people want things in life that they can't afford, so they just go around. It's just like telling someone, oh, I don't really like this thing, but deep down you like it, you wish you could use it. Before I started using an iPhone, I always say, oh, I don't like iPhone. I don't even know why. I can't remember why I always say that, but I found out that it's because I couldn't afford it at the time. And it's not like it's a big hype, but I know there are a little bit of like advantages to, aside the fact that people want to be classist or whatever. There are things that iPhone can actually do that like regular phones cannot do. So most times it's usually like because you can't afford this thing, and you just go around tormenting people, making people feel bad for having it. So this family finally moved out. They went through a lot of things. Like I personally felt very, very sorry for their experience. Like I was very, very sad, especially because of the kids and everything. In fact, the last person that moved in before the movie ended, they killed that dog in the elevator, and it was so, 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 so sad. So this family, they couldn't get over this experience they had in this house. They went to therapy. The husband came back to keep watching the house as well. It felt like I can't even find out who this person is. They interviewed several people that have lived in that same house, and some had similar experiences. It turned out one of the guy actually has mental issues, and it was almost like, okay, it was making some of the stories up, but it wasn't really making it up. Whoever moves into that house will go through the same very thing. Like, they're gonna watch your house, they're gonna send you letters, they're gonna threaten you, they're gonna tell you the name of your kids, the name of everything that goes on in the house. They're gonna tell you about it. They're gonna freak you out until you move out of that house. So it got to a point whereby they moved out initially, and the man just could not get over what happened. Like, if I was the one too, I'm just curious to know who this person is. I want to know, and what is the reason. Sometimes you can offend people and they want to like get revenge on you, but you can't come up with any reason why someone would want to watch you and stalk you, and the fact that they have peace of mind in the new house they moved into. So they just felt like, at that point, the man felt like, I just want to, okay, if I can't get revenge, if I can't find out who this person is and deal with them, I want to torment the next person. So they started watching the house. They also started watching the house, and his wife was always so upset whenever he talks about it. In fact, in therapy, the therapist would be like, I didn't ask you about it, how come you're bringing this up again? It was just traumatized. I mean, the whole family was traumatized, but the man just took it upon himself to like try to investigate, to see the end of this story, to see the roots of the same problem. So he started watching the house when the new neighbors moved in. And in therapy, he was telling his therapist about it. The fact that he was watching the house, and his wife, even his wife, that gets mad whenever it talks about it. She was also secretly watching the house. She just wanted to know. They just wanted answers. Sometimes when you're traumatized and you can't get revenge on your oppressors, you know, you just want to take it out on others. When people hurt you, sometimes you want to ask yourself, what's the reason? What was the reason? What are you going through? You know, and it's just, I don't know, should I say the psychology behind it is the fact that you just also want to feel something, and the fact that there's no real reason why someone hurts you. You also want to take that out on the next person. And honestly, fair enough, I don't know, that's like most people's reaction. Sometimes people tell you don't take revenge because whoever hurts you is going to meet themselves in someone else, blah blah blah. They tell you reasons why you shouldn't take revenge and all that. But honestly, I'm not really a good narrator. This movie just left me. I was a bit upset because I wanted to. It got to a point where the neighbors almost got caught, and he ran back to his sister to tell her that they are onto them. At that point, I was thinking, yes, it is definitely the neighbor. Even the parts where they set the husband up, and you know, the girl that was in his bed definitely looked exactly like Peggy from the next door. And you know, I feel like the writers of this story just left us to figure it out, just the same way this very movie, they left us to just figure it out. Like, use your sense, use your imagination, because at the point I was like, yes, it is definitely these people. But whoever it is, whatever it was, the point is that these people felt the need to also do the same thing to the next person. And honestly, that's how life is. Sometimes you can't take a revenge, you can't do what it is you really want to do to your oppressor, so you just feel that need. People bring kids into the world to put them through the same thing they've gone through. I went through this, so I need you to go through the same thing. And that's just how life is. And it's the fact that a lot of people get away with lots of things. I see why these people invented heaven and hell, to say there's consequences for your actions. I see why, because it's like a consolation just for you to feel like your perpetrators are going to get their karma. But honestly, in this life, people get away with things. You just have to live with that, the fact that people really do get away with things. But sometimes for your own mental health, you need to let things go. Like, you really do need to let things go sometimes. You know, things happen. Not everything really happens for a reason. I see why sometimes you'd be like, oh, but what's the reason for this? This doesn't make any sense. Not everything really happens for a reason. And sometimes just for your own peace of mind, you just have to let things go.